I will cam up. Oh, you're going to be looking at a chopping board. Hey again, Anne-Marie, and hi, Ivor. All right, so hopefully now it's on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen as well. Yes, here we are, groovy. I'm just going to copy the link, and I'm going to pop it over on Traces of Nuts and encourage everyone to come over to the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. Okay. We're getting there. How's everybody doing? It's going off, guys. I had people arriving. I think there were like 7 people, and then I just completely booted myself. I thought I was only going to boot me on my phone, but I booted me everywhere. But I did have an idea. I thought I could actually send myself an invitation to StreamYard and then go onto StreamYard on my phone that way. Because I kind of liked the idea of the split screen. And tonight we're making macaroni cheese. Have fun buying undies, Mel. I don't like the big shops either. But, yeah, I had a thought if I sent myself an invite, we might as well just experiment with this because we're making macaroni cheese and a rhubarb crumble. It's going to be yumbo. It's all comfort foods tonight, but there's some benchtop action and there's also a lot of stovetop action. So I was hoping I could have a portable camera. Otherwise, I'll just have to tell you what I'm up to. And you'll just have to imagine it, yeah? But I might just do this link, see if it works on my phone. And if it does and there's no echo, we may be able to carry on as we were. So thanks for hanging out with me just while we sorted out some technology. A lot of this stuff you can't work out till you're actually live. Like you don't know what it's going to sound like. I had no idea there was going to be a really nasty echo before, so let's see if this is going to work. Oh, wow, I've never actually I've never used StreamYard from my phone before, like in terms of joining another panel or anything, obviously, because I'm just having to set a few things up at the moment. All right, enter studio. And then presumably back over here. Oh, wait. Okay. All right. So but that's hang on. Yeah, because you really need to see me on a Monday night without makeup. Sorry, guys. Just the way it is. Shining forehead and all. Okay. So can you hear me? And there's no echo. That's the main stuff. My plan might have worked. The only thing is I don't know if this stand I've got my mobile phone on is going to let me bend it over to show you some hot action. Luckily, I've already cooked the macaroni because I thought there's a few things that I can get done before we kick off. I'm echoing. Bugger. I don't know how to. All right, I've turned the microphone off on my phone because that was turned off before. Let's see how we go. Thanks for the feedback, Groovers. Yep, lots of echoes. Is it still echoing? I've muted my phone. The first one is, so my microphone is echoing. I'll keep waiting because I'm getting all the messages saying it's echoing, and I kind of got that the first time someone said it was echoing. It's all fixed. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Good to go. Oh, that's good. Thank you. All right, so let's get on with it because we've actually got quite a bit of cooking to do. Firstly, for the mac cheese, I've already cooked the macaroni, but we'll chat about that when we put that together. I'm actually going to get on with the, oh, hang on. Start cam. There we go. I'm actually going to start with the rhubarb crumble because it takes about 45 minutes to cook. And the beauty of this, by some sheer coincidence, both recipes require an oven set at 200 degrees Celsius. So it means I can get the rhubarb crumble happening and then get on with the mac cheese when the rhubarb crumble is in the oven. So I was given where I work, a lot of people have little gardens and stuff like that, and they often bring homegrown produce in. And last week, a girl brought in some beautiful rhubarb from her home, from her little home garden. Hey, Tanny, good to see you, Groover. Now, the recipe I'm doing, I was hoping I could find someone who'd cooked this online because that's usually where I find a link to a blog or something. This book, though, is quite old. I've had it for a while. But if anyone loves the author Marian Keyes, it was 2012, so it's not that ancient. Same age as the car I might be buying. Hi, Sandra. You're from Nova Scotia. Welcome. You like the two camera angles, Ivor? And we've worked out how to do the sound. I just have to remember to mute the mic on my phone. Welcome, Sandra. You found a very friendly community. So Marian Keyes, who's an Irish author, she ended up getting really bad depression, and so she sort of baked her way back to happiness and did this beautiful book, Saved by Cake. And it's really cool because she wasn't a baker at all when she started baking. So she's kind of done really cool recipes with shortcuts. I mean, the rhubarb crumble is as traditional as you get, but there's a lot of other recipes in here that she's found little shortcuts. But that's the rhubarb crumble we're making, typical old-fashioned rhubarb crumble. But we might do some more things from her book because she's got some really cool stuff. And if you ever see the book, grab it because it's just lovely. And because she's an author, it's echoing still, is it? You might, I don't know if you're at the start, Sandra. We worked on the echo and thought it was fixed. Now I'm bummed again. Are you at the beginning, Sandra, or are you where we all are? Like we're at 8 minutes 54. Yes, I've got beer too. We'll chat about the beer in a minute as well. I don't want to do the beer bit till you'll get lots of love in here, Sandra. It's a really happy little community. But I'm now waiting. We're all good? Okay, thanks, Aussie. Sandra, you might be a bit behind because I think we fixed the echo before. But anyway, so yeah, Marian Keyes' book, the long story short, I couldn't find the recipe online. So I am going to type it out, but I didn't have time to. But I have put the list of ingredients in the description. And, of course, if you're watching, you'll see how it's made anyway. And I'm also learning to extract bits of live so I can make little miniature videos. All right, I won't read the chat for a minute because I really want to get on with this so I can get it in the oven because we've got a lot to do, like the mac cheese. We've got to make a roux. We've got lots of things to cook. So I'm just going to at least get this on. But first up, we are putting beer in our mac and cheese. Now, this is not my favourite beer by a long shot, but it was my dad's favourite beer. The recipe only calls for half a cup. It's a bit lame. So I figure there's probably 2 cups in here. What's the thing? 375 mils, 250 is a cup, so there's even more. So I thought I would have a little bit of a beer in honour of my dad. On the Queen's birthday. He was a passionate constitutional monarchist. So it seems apt that this was the beer I grabbed to cook with. Put a bit of Mickey in my mac and cheese. Now I'm going to be very classy and sophisticated and drink out of a crystal tumbler because that's how I like to drink my drinks. My grandma's, I better make sure I save enough beer for the recipe, but my grandma's had all of these amazing crystal, and grandpa's had all these amazing crystal tumblers, and as kids we didn't dig them, but now I dig them, and a couple of years ago, I got a voucher for a homeware shop that I love. And I drove there going, my God, I'm getting some crystal tumblers. So cheers and welcome to everyone coming in. Just a reminder too that if the mods, I know it's a bit of a pain in the bum, but if you can try to drive people over to the Shitty Kitty Kitchen on YouTube, the link, I've actually pinned it because hang on, there's heaps of people on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen and there's people in the other one too, or is it just copying over to both? But yeah, if you could all try to go to the Shitty Kitty Kitchen, I've posted the YouTube link at the top of the chat in Traces of Nuts, because as of the 1st of July, all cooking is going to happen on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen channel, not on this channel anymore. So I'm trying to migrate the people that like the cooking stuff over there. But if the mods could just check every now and then the Traces of Nuts chat, and if there's anyone sitting over there on their own. Yeah, cheers, Nutsies, Dad. Cheers, everybody. Actually, this is delightful. Oh, some of you are in both. Well, yeah, we'll work it out. I'll continue to put on my community page, though, that I'm in the Shitty Kitty Kitchen, so hopefully people will see that link and cruise over. So with the rhubarb, when I brought it home, I actually trimmed it and washed it. It's pretty much good to go. One thing that I didn't know about rhubarb is if you get given lots of rhubarb and you don't have enough recipes to cook it all up, you can freeze it. You literally just trim it and cut it into smaller pieces like I did. This hasn't been frozen though, and just wrap it in Glad wrap and it will be perfectly fine in the fridge for about a week. But we're just going to chop it into, and also with this recipe, she says if you get pieces like the different thicknesses, the way rhubarb grows. So the thicker ones, you can run a knife just down the middle and cut them in half if you want it to be a bit more consistent. So that's why some of them are going to be getting sliced. But there's nothing lovelier, I think, than a rhubarb crumble or an apple crumble on a cold wintry night. It must be weird for the people that are watching in summertime. They're probably all like, it's the last thing I need. Now, you can cut it into different sizes, a couple of centimetres. Doesn't have to all be the same. It kind of ends up cooking down a bit anyway and getting a bit mushy. Now, if I'm popping in and out of shot where you can see my head, it's just because of the way I'm cooking. So half a face is maybe better than no face. I don't know. What is rhubarb? Oh, Mel Mel, you've come from Camp Mel Mel. Well, you'll probably know quite a few people in here too. There's a bit of a crossover of Mel Mels and my channels. Rhubarb is a fruit, and I look off the top of my head. I could Google it, but I'm just gonna go back to StreamYard for a second and pan out a bit. That's better. Okay. So yeah, rhubarb's a fruit. You've never seen rhubarb before. It's red. It's yummy. It's kind of almost like, it looks like a red celery, to be honest. But it's quite acidic. You guys don't have rhubarb? I thought rhubarb was universal. Yes, anyone who loves Mel Mel is lovely. But anyone who loves me is lovely too. There might be people that don't know Mel Mel who love me. And vice versa. Looks like beer. Hello, Plemy Plemy. Welcome, Groover. Cheers. But yeah, I thought rhubarb was everywhere. But you can make crumbles with anything, any fruit. You can do apple, apricot, pear, whatever takes your fancy, guys. But someone might need to Google rhubarb and put a full description because I'm a bit occupied at the moment. And rhubarb can get quite expensive. So if you know people that grow it and they are happy to give you some, take it. Take it. I don't love people on YouTube. I like people on YouTube or dislike. Well, that's probably the smart way to be, I think. In recent days, I don't think loving anyone on YouTube has gone very well for some people. Now, this recipe calls for 900 grams of rhubarb, and I weighed this, and it's about 600. So what I'm going to do, and this is where cooking is fun. I don't know if you guys, some of you might have watched my unboxing the other night. What have I done with them? I unboxed a subscription box called Retreat Yourself. And in it, yes, you can grow rhubarb. It grows very well in gardens. There you go, Ruth. I hope you get notifications too, Sandra. It'd be lovely to have you around. We'd have some fun on this channel. Is this Aussie food or just well food? Well, crumbles, I think, are traditionally English. And so having parents and grandparents all descendant from, well, mainly from Scots and Irish people actually, but let's just say UK. So it's a hot fruit pudding with a crumble on top. It's a bit like a streusel pudding, if you know about streusels. Same sort of concept. Macaroni cheese, I would have thought was maybe American or is it Italian? I don't know the history of mac cheese, but I know I ate a lot of macaroni cheese when I was in America. Crumble is very Dutch, but it's streusel, or is that Germans call their crumble streusel? But I got these the other day. They're blackcurrant berries, and they're freeze-dried. And I thought I could just eat them like a snack, and they're really like hardcore tangy. And it says blend in your smoothie, sprinkle over salads, make a zesty sauce. I'm actually going to chuck these freeze-dried blackberries, Germans, the streusel, right. Yes, the leaves are toxic because of the oxalic acid, which is brilliant for cleaning milk-painted wood. Well, there you go. So there's the... I'm just chucking these in just to, it's not going to bump it up to the 900 grams, but it'll just fatten it out a bit. And blackberries and rhubarb go together beautifully. So do like, I don't know about blueberries, but blackberries do. So I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to chuck these are black currants, sorry, not blackberries, the black currants, I'm just going to chuck them in. But yeah, blackberries or black currants, whack them in. Why not? Now, we're going to add some sugar. One of the sugars is demerera. You'll find it at like your supermarkets and stuff like that. I don't really know why she wants me to use this, and I'm subbing out another sugar, so I won't talk about this one too much because I've actually got the sugar that I need to have. So we're using demerara. And we need 50 grams of that. It's almost like sort of crystals. I'll show you them. I'll rest those over there. So it's a bit like, they're smaller than sugar crystals, but you know when you go to like a posh high tea or something, so they're bigger crystals than raw sugar, basically. Oh, there's going to be a dollop of custard at the end, Ruth. Don't you worry about that. So yeah, it's kind of like a chunkier version of a raw sugar. But so the 50 grams goes in. And the last ingredient for this part is optional. It's entirely up to you. I'm always down for lots of flavour. But you do you. Just a teaspoon of ground ginger. If you don't like ginger, don't put a teaspoon of ground ginger in. If you do, go for it. They look like little gems. I am missing a few comments in chat. I'm really sorry, guys, but I'm bang up to get this stuff on so we can get on with the mac cheese because there's a lot of assembly. What did I say? A teaspoon. So I'm just using the quarter measurement because that fits into this little tub. Moving my beer out of the way. Right. And then you just want to mix this all together as best you can. Now I can have a quick look at... Oh, has your doggy been sick? But stable sounds good. So just mix it up. The sugar, I mean, it's all gonna go in a bowl anyway and get baked, but try and mix it up a little bit. And then I'm going to do it in a pudding bowl. I love all the old-fashioned Pyrex bowls and stuff like that. I collect them, and this reminds me of my grandma. So I'm doing it in a pudding bowl. You could do it in a pie tin, a pie dish, whatever you've got, but crumbles, because you're basically putting fruit in the bottom and then a crumble on top. Use whatever you like, but yeah, I'm going to do it in this bowl. As long as it is, I had to put water in it before, as long as it will hold 1.5 litres. And the way you find out if your dish is 1.5 litres, you pour water into it. So that's what I'm making it in. Isn't it cute? If you ever see these anywhere, let me know because I collect these ones. And we're just going to pour that into the pie tin. Now, you don't need to... Actually, I'm not happy with the level of mixage. I'm just going to get a bigger bowl. Give me a sec. I do want to give it a slightly better mix than this. Yeah, they remind me of my childhood too, Sandra, anything Pyrex. I thought that was a hair, but it's part of the rhubarb. Oops. That current escaped. All right, I'm happier now with the mixing. So we'll pop this back in. Now, you don't need to grease the bowl or anything like that. It's perfectly fine. That's better. As it is. Perfect summer bowls, they are. They're great pudding bowls too. Uh-oh. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. Just put those escapees back in. Now, what you want to do with this is all going to cook down when it goes into the oven, and the oven is on 200 degrees. But what you want to do is push it down as much as you can. We're going to be putting the crumble on the top, but if you can just try and squash it down a little bit. Whoops. I went to read something in the book. Oh, yes. This is extreme cooking. But this is quite therapeutic. I did wash my hands, by the way. You can say fuck if you want, plumey. But, yeah, just push it down as hard as you can. And because this is from the book, Cooking Yourself Happy, if there's someone that's giving you the shits right now, just fuck yous. Squish them. That's what you got to do, all right? And you'll feel a whole lot better. So that's the fruit part. This is the easiest thing in the world, crumbles. They are so simple and they're so yummy because this is all going to essentially sort of stew with the sugar and the ginger, and it's just going to be birdie nom nom. And the next part is we need to make the topping. The crumble. First, we need some plain flour. Let me just try and clean up a bit as I go. Hang on a sec, guys. We can't have visual pollution. All right. So first up, we need 170 grams of plain flour. I spoon the flour in because whenever I pour it, when I'm baking on my own, if I pour it in, it's perfectly fine. Whenever I go live, I end up with a flour cloud. So 175 grams of plain flour. Do you burn all your breads? I don't do breads. I mean, I will. I'm happy to start cooking some, but I generally don't eat bread, so I don't really bake it either. Right. So we're just going to sift that into the bowl. Speaking of grandmas and childhoods, this is one of my grandma's old flour sifters. She used to dry it after she used it. When she was doing the dishes, she'd stick it back in the hot oven from when she'd been baking. So it ended up with this sort of burned look about it. But fairy sifter. This is where you sift your fairies. Oh, we're using real butter, Plumey. That's the only butter that ever walks through the front door of my house. So using my grandma's fairy sifter, sift the plain flour. Next up, we want 50 grams of caster sugar. Now, caster sugar is a really fine white sugar. Oh, it's 58. Who gives a shit? Chuck that in the bowl, groovers. Now, this is where I'm actually breaking out from her recipe. She wanted muscovado sugar to be used. Now, I couldn't find it anywhere. I did find really dark brown sugar. So this is the brown sugar, which is the one that comes from molasses. It's got like a real molassesy flavour. There is a darker version of this, which actually would have been a really good substitute for muscovado, but I'm using just normal brown sugar. It's 50 grams again. Next time I will go the darker sugar, but we'll see. I mean, it's for a crumble. I really don't think it's crucial. I don't think it's going to actually hopefully change the consistency too much. So it's real butter, mate. No, I don't use no salt butter. Are you kidding me? That's the best thing about butter is the salt. Brown sugar, in she goes. Now we're getting the real butter. Tassie does a lot of things really, really well, and one of them is anything dairy. I'm not sponsored, but this butter, holy shit, guys. Duck River butter, it is fucking unbelievable. I've eaten French butters. I've eaten butters in all kinds of places. This butter is amazing butter. Trust me. And we need 100 grams. It's really important when you make a crumble. Like a streusel is something you actually freeze and then you grate it over the top. A crumble, we're literally just making a crumble and it's just going to go on top of our dish. In fact, I'll put the rhubarb in the front because there's going to be a bit of assembling going on. But make sure your butter's cold. A lot of times you can keep butter out like in a butter safe or whatever you call them at room temperature. Make sure it's chilled. The colder the better. And we want 100 grams. And the beauty of this particular brand of butter, where did my knife go? And like a lot of butters as well, it comes with a little ruler on it, printed on the thingamy. It does have to be a duck river. A duck sea is not good, and a duck swimming pool and a duck creek, forget it. So, yeah, it's conveniently got a little measuring tape on it. I don't want to handle it too much. I want to try to keep it as cold as possible. So it's really easy to measure 100 grams. That's how you do it. And what we're going to do with this is cut it up into some cubes. There you go, plumey. Look, salty, perfect butter. Ducking amazing butter, exactly. I'll chat a bit more once I've got this happening, but I've just chopped it up into some cubes. You put it straight into the bowl where we're making our crumble. Okay, just checking when the oats have to go in. Now, you could make this in a food processor, the crumble, but it's really easy to do it by hand. You're not going to get a lot of action shot at the moment, but essentially what you want to do is just start breaking it all up together, and then you rub it a little bit. But you want it to look like a crumble, which is kind of... That was 100. No, it was 100 grams. There's no 25 on the thing. It's all in 50s. But you just break it all, like just try and mix everything together, the flour, the sugars, the butter, and you can just do it by hand. Now, if you were doing it in a food processor, you just want to pulse it on short bursts until you sort of have... Again, and I'm going to show you what a crumble is, what it looks like, but you don't want it to be blitzed so that it's fine. Like, you want it to have chunky bits. And you want it to essentially resemble a crumble. I showed you the picture at the start. You all saw what a crumble is. And then you just, when they're sort of mixed pretty well, then you just start rubbing it together a little bit as well. It's fun. If you're tactile, this is a perfect dish to do. But you essentially want it to be mixing together, all the ingredients mixing together. I'm going to do it a little bit longer, but I'm just going to show you the direction we're heading in. So it's kind of like probably 75% towards being a crumble. But trust me, there's another thing that's going to make it even crumblier. And if you were making this like just in your kitchen, not live and chatting to people and stuff, this would already be in the oven. It would probably be cooking. It would have been cooking for about 15 minutes. Really simple recipe. But the end result, my God, it's worth it. Oh, you made a crumble apple pie Dutch style on your channel? Crumbles are great. So there we go. Like, it's rough. It's not, there's different sizes. It's not consistent throughout. It's, the butter is obviously going to melt and cook everything, so you don't have to go too crazy with it. But the final ingredient to add is some rolled oats. Oh, you did months ago. Rolled oats, guys, not instant oats. Don't ever bake with instant. Always get the rolled. The ones that you would cook on a stovetop to make porridge, right? Instant oats, whatever they've put in them to make them cook so quickly, they're really, really soggy when you bake with them. Oh, you did months ago. I've got to spend some time over on your channel. You do some incredible food. So we want 100 grams of rolled oats. Now, if you're trying to be less oaty, and I think taking oats out of any recipe is a crime, but some people just can't eat them. You could substitute with quinoa flakes, teff flakes. There's lots of different substitutes for oats these days. Add them into the crumble. One last mix by hand. Yeah, no 2-minute Quaker oats. We do have those here. A strawberry pie, a Dutch crumble apple pie, and bread. Yum! All right, I'm heading over there. It won't be tonight, though. MasterChef's on soon. Still got an hour and a half. Will be good. Hour and 3/4, actually. I feel like I am on MasterChef sometimes when I do this. Okay. So there's the crumble. That's what it ultimately will look like. Or should look like. So if you are using a food processor, that's the sort of thing you want. You don't want it to be processed so that it's like a fine flour or something. And what we're going to do is just start to sprinkle it over or plonk it. And you want to make sure the fruit is covered. You also don't want to go over the top of your bowl too much. I'm going to raise it a little bit. You can squash it down a bit and then mix it up a bit. And there's a little bit of crumble left. So what I'm probably going to do with that, actually there's not much. I'm going to make it work. Get on there, you bastard. Yeah, oh my God, guys. Oh my God. Running out of bench space. That's got so much crumble on the top, it's ridiculous. But it does, when it starts to cook, the rhubarb and everything, it's going to drop a little bit as well. So it'll kind of all sink into each other a little bit too. So that, guys, that's how simple that was. I'm about to chuck it in the oven. It's on 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit, or gas 6, depending on what you cook with. It's going to go in for 40 to 45 minutes, or basically till this is golden brown. My oven is a fairly fast cooker, I've noticed, so I'm actually going to set the timer for 35 minutes and check it then. Hey Google, set a timer for 35 minutes.
35 minutes, and we're starting now.
Thank you. And there we go. The crumble is in the oven. Now, a little trap for young players too. I did put a baking tray in the bottom of my oven in case it overflows. Sometimes things do get a bit heated in my kitchen and there can be spillage. So I preempted that by putting a baking tray in the bottom of my oven. But you can put like alfoil in the bottom, and I know lots of people that do that. Freaking delicious. I would put the, I would put the oats in the bottom, so the bottom, don't get that. Oh, you'd put the oats in the bottom? Nah, man. No. No. We want crunchy crumble on top. We want this beautiful poached rhubarb and black currants in the bottom, with the ginger and the sugar all sort of poachy yum, and then a really crunchy, buttery, oaty crumble on the top. Cheers, everybody. Yes, delicious with vanilla ice cream too, but I'm going to be serving mine with some custard. I'm not making custard tonight as well. I'm already using pretty much every saucepan I own tonight. Breadcrumbs on the bottom is the best. Well, I'll take your word for it. I'll try it next time. But that's where we are with the crumble. It's in, it's cooking. Let's get on with prepping and making our mac cheese groovers. I'll try it with breadcrumbs next time. You can go up there, Marian. Thank you. Oh, no, I'll put a little note in her later. I always write in my cookbooks, make little notes. So let's get on to the mac cheese. Now, it is mac cheese with a twist. It's got beer and bacon in it. Beers cheers. Yeah, it's thirsty work in this kitchen. There's a little bit of prepping I can do over here first, and then we'll disconnect my phone and move over to the stovetop for some roux making action. Up your guts, up your bum. Right, so let's do a little bit of mac and cheese prep. My bamboo board has got a bend in it, so that's why there's a little tea towel under it, thanks to Ivan Problems tip. First up, we do need to cut up 6 rashers of bacon. Bacon. What was that? I shut my mouth. Or advice. Evens. Do there are no mods. Hey, what did I miss? No, I'm interested in trying your breadcrumbs. I was trying to visualize it. I hope you weren't thinking I was going, nah, fuck off, that's a stupid idea. I was kind of like, oh, that's a quirk. I'm just cutting the rind off. I don't like rinds, especially in a mac cheese. No, thank you, ma'am. Not that these rinds are particularly chunky, actually. So this bacon I actually had in the freezer. I took it out of the freezer yesterday and defrosted it. My freezer contains many magical things, so I was a bit excited to find some bacon in there. And I think it's 7 rashers, but the more bacon, the better in my books. Don't be skimping on no bacon. Now, this recipe I did find online. It is out of the free magazine that an Australian supermarket chain called Coles, C-O-L-E-S, puts out seasonally, and I grabbed the winter one today. This is the autumn one, this recipe. So when we do what are we going to cook next week, what I thought was the first number that pops up in chat when I ask for it, I've got the autumn version, the new winter one, and I'm also going to throw a third book in the mix. And then you guys will be able to vote on which of the 3. Now, as you know, I won't cook anything I won't eat because there's absolutely no point. What a waste of time and money. So if it opens up on pork, eggplant, olives, it's not going to happen. I love watching cooking channels. I don't know why people sit and watch drama for hours on it. It's like, watch cooking channels, learn how to make shit. Now, those of you who know me, you know that I love cooking with my cooking scissors, kitchen scissors. It's so much easier, especially things like bacon. Just use scissors. Don't fuck around. I've got really good sharp knives. It's still so much easier just to chop them up with scissors. But it also, this recipe says finely chopped. I'm not really into finely chopping anything, as a lot of you know, so I'm doing it pretty chunky. I like chunky bits of bacon in my mac cheese. I don't want it all tiny that you just get like a crumb of bacon. No. But chop it how you like, guys. You know, some people go for the finely chopped. Whatever works for you. There's no rules in the shitty kitty kitchen. Just have fun, try stuff, taste stuff, have some laughs along the way. You love fucking bacon. Gordon Ramsay. Not this shit again. Too funny. I'm going to prep everything for the mac cheese because we're going to be moving over to the stovetop and making a roux, which some of you will know is a butter, flour and milk sort of sauce. So if I can get everything kind of measured out and stuff while we're over on this side, it's going to make life easier on the other side. So that's the bacon. That's how I like it. But, yep, chop it however you want. I've already cooked up the macaroni cheese, this macaroni pasta, 250 grams. So it's half a packet. Like in Australia, oh yeah, this shit again. I love bacon in everything, even ice cream, if it's done properly. Oh, so yeah, bacon comes in 500-gram packets, so half a packet. Follow the packet directions. Macaroni only takes 8 minutes to cook in some salted water. So you want it al dente too, because this is going to bake in the oven for a while. So please don't cook it so that it ends up all stuck together in a big blob. I'm just breaking it down a tiny bit because it has been sitting there for a while, but it hasn't broken down. It's just settled in together for a bit of a smoochy night. I love that you, Gordon, that you spelt shit the way the Shitty Kitty Kitchen is spelt. So you've got the pre-cooked stuff, but like I said, I pre-cooked it. It took 8 minutes. It's probably one of the quickest pastas to cook. So that's good to go. Just wondering which saucepan I should use. I've got a feeling it's all going to end up in a big fat giant. It is. Oh, here's a bigger saucepan. Hang on a sec, guys. We need the monster pot for this dish. Okay, what else do I need to get ready? We need some butter. 50 grams. Handy little measuring doobie lucky. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. What did you guys say? It was 125 grams of butter. I think you're right. You got your undies. There is a quiche recipe on my channel. I do quiche. There's only so much I cook in a week. I live on my own. I do entertain a lot. I do have house guests a lot. But, yeah, there's a gorgeous quiche recipe on my channel. It's tomato and basil. It's beautiful, and leek. It's a really good one. And it's using a phyllo pastry rather than a short crust. So, yeah, it's delicious. Oh, my God, the last time you cooked pasta, the pot went in the bin with the pasta in it. You didn't check on it? So, yeah, you guys were right. It was 125 grams, but who cares? The more butter, the better. You're the butter queen. You are. Yes, you are. Just found a piece of macaroni. It's delicious. I'm thoroughly enjoying the beer too. Okay, speaking of, what else do I need? I need some plain flour. Hang on, I'll use my little... So you need 1/4 cup of plain flour. Look at us, it's like we're prepping a little tray, platey thing of goodness for assembling on the other side. Not everything needs to be measured out, but it's kind of fun to just get on with it over here. We're going to be needing the mustard powder. Keyes mustard. Now, I normally would cook with an actual mustard, but I'm doing the recipe like I'm honouring it. So I've never made this recipe before, so we're using the Keyes mustard powder. I love these little tins. Keyes do a fabulous curry powder as well. They're so gorgeous. I love anything that comes in tins. Cool stuff. So we'll get little measuring spoons for that. What else are we going to need over the road? We're going to need some milk. All right, I've got a jug here for that. Probably don't need my cleaning product bottle. We're going to need the beer. More beer. What else, guys? Let me just get all these bits and pieces. The beer, we're going to be using the 1/2 cup measurement for that. But I'm not going to add more beer because I don't want like a macaroni drowning in beer dish. No, thank you. All right, I'll take this little tray of things over. You can go over there. Oh, I've got to put the camera somewhere though. Hang on. I'm building an assembly station, Groovers. All right, I've got to grate up some cheese. Now, the recipe says to do 1.5 cups, and I had cheddar on the shopping list and I forgot to grab some, and I'm hoping this will be about 1.5 cups. My kitchen often, when I forget to buy things or I rummage in my pantry, a recipe will say you need 1.5 tablespoons, and weirdly I'll have 1.5 tablespoons of sesame seeds or whatever it is in the pantry. So I'm just going to grate all of this cheddar up. I think it'll be more than enough. I have got some mozzarella and I've also got some Parmesan, so if I really wanted to beef it up a bit more, but I'm thinking we're looking pretty good for 1.5 cups of cheese, to be honest. All the beer is yours, Gordon. Are you drinking each other's beers in chat? You rat bags. So Mel, you got your Grundies? Guess I'll go get my own fucking beer. Oh, you guys are so much fun. It's fun hanging out with you. I mean, I'd be cooking anyway. I cook every night, but it's fun to, well, not every night, during the week. So I'm pretty excited. I made a curry yesterday, and I'm going to have plenty of mac cheese to get me through the next couple of days. And then I've got dinner on Wednesday night in town because Dark Mofo starts and we're off to the Winter Feast, which is amazing. Thursday I'm actually here. Friday I've got dinner in town. Saturday I've got dinner in town. Oh, no, Saturday night's bonfire down here. And then Sunday I've got lunch in town. Tech difficulties. That's no good, Mel. May the force be with you. So that was, I reckon, pretty much 1.5 cups of cheddar. All right. Hello, Sunny Bunny. So we're going to now, I'm just going to turn the camera off on this side because I need to move you guys over here. I'm a bit concerned that this stand is not strong enough to hold the phone without falling over. Let's see how we go here. I really want to get it on that pot. This is the trouble I have when I'm filming my videos. Okay. That looks like it's pretty good. Hang on. I'll have a look on my screen. That's pretty good. I don't know how to give you more of that and less of the other. That looks pretty good to me. That looks bonza. All right, guys, we're making a roux. Not a kangaroo. I'll turn the other screen off for the moment. You don't really need to be looking at a plate of cheese. So we're going to put this onto a medium heat. You do want a large saucepan because all of the mac cheese ingredients are going to go into this dish, into this pot. I'm loving that beer. I'm going to have another sip while this pot heats up. Good on you, Dad. I don't normally like this beer, but maybe just one beer every now and then, once in a blue moon. It kind of feels nutritious beer to me. That's a great fucking view. Oh, thank you, Sandra. That's my beautiful cat, Sunny. The downside of cooking over here now is I can't see the chat, so I'm popping over to look at my laptop at the moment. But, yeah, that's my beautiful rescue cat, Sunny, who's not a shitty kitty. She's a gorgeous kitty. But she is the channel mascot on Traces of Nuts and also on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. But, yeah, she's a beautiful girl. There's lots of photos of her on my community post. I did a poll and people said they wanted to see lots of Sunny is fucking beautiful. Gordon Ramsay, you're cracking me up. Okay, so we're going to be cooking up the bacon first. Remember that? Remember the delicious, tasty, tasty bacon? The pot's still not quite warm enough. I might just crank it up a bit more till we get some sizzle happening. It does. These are a really heavy base saucepan, so they do take a little while to heat up. The only problem with this beer is it's going straight through me. I may have to go to the loo while the bacon is cooking. Sorry, groovers. This is live television, live YouTube. I'll just wait for this to heat up and get the rest of the bacon on. There's my element that looks purple, but it's not, it's red. It's like a magic. We'll just get this bacon sizzling a bit. What's happening over in chat? Fucking intermission. Can somebody sing a song during intermission? Where's Mel Mel gone? She's got a lovely voice. Mel Mel, where are you? I love mac and cheese. I'm serving it with some green beans tonight. A lot of people just have mac and cheese as it is, but you can also serve it with a salad. This particular recipe in this family cookbook suggests you serve it with bread, and I'm like, that's a shitload of carbohydrates, guys. Sunny is very huggable. She's becoming the biggest smoocher. All right, we're getting some heat here now. I'll just give it a tiny bit longer. But yeah, any sort of really good quality heavy base saucepans, they do take a lot longer to heat up. But you want the sizzle, faux shizzle. Now you guys have to keep an eye on this bacon while I go to the loo. But one of the benefits of working for a breakfast radio show was we only ever had like 3 minutes to go to the loo during a song. So I'm pretty speedy. It actually takes me longer to wash my hands than it does to go to the loo. But I think for everyone's comfort. Now, if you could all keep an eye on that bacon, please. Give it a stir if necessary. See where Melmel's got to. That'd be great. Oh, I can hear the sizzle from the bathroom. Bacon going burn down the fucking house. You better give it a stir. Nah, she good. Perfect. But we do want it to get it a little bit crispy. We want it golden brown. It's got a way to go yet. It's the beer's fucking fault. Mac and cheese with collie cheese. Oh, really? That's a lot of cheese. I've got a mac and cheese recipe, which sounds really weird because it doesn't have mac in it at all. It's actually got cauliflower pretending to be the pasta, but it tastes exactly like macaroni cheese. It's bizarre. It's super, super healthy. Like if you're going to do a really healthy mac and cheese, and trust me, this one's not. I mean, it's good food, but it's not the healthy version. But yeah, you can make macaroni cheese and sub out the pasta with cauliflower, and it tastes just like macaroni cheese. It's deliciousness. Yummy, yes, Tanny. And it's the healthy alternative. Actually, while I'm waiting for the bacon to go a bit golden brown, I'm going to measure out the half a cup of beer and see if I've got any left to have one more sip of my dad's. I've still got a little bit. See? Hang on. Back there. I'm looking over at my laptop on my bench. I'm trying to get this. I'm sticking it right into the camera. Oh, the camera's at that end. There you go. I had it in the middle of my phone. You can also just barbecue mac and cheese. I go for that. What do you mean, Plumey? Tanny's eating a very late lunch. Well, what is it, 3 p.m. for you? Yeah, that's pretty late. Not much cheese usually in this house. If you're cooking Aussie, you have to drink beer or it's not Aussie. Look, there's a lot of people. You have to barbecue. You have to drink beer when you're barbecuing. But I don't know if my mic is picking me up when I come over here. But I don't like beer usually. I'm really enjoying this for some reason. Probably because it's the Queen's birthday. And it's, Dad is... Oh, there's heaps of beer after I measured out the half a cup of beer. Although I'll let the froth go down a bit. I don't want to... It does smell so fucking good, Gordon. You've got no idea. But, yeah, it's a bit of a rule of thumb that you've got to be holding a beer and barbecuing with... Like, hold a beer with one hand, barbecue with the other. I do like a ginger beer when I'm out on my barbecue. But my barbecue's the Weber 6-burner one or 5-burner one where you put the lid down and just leave it. But men in Australia have an annoying habit of turning meat over and over and over and over and over again. And they get pissy when they come to my place because I'm like, just put the lid down. Cook's a treat. I mean, you've still got to turn sausages and stuff like that. But, yeah, I'm going to get another, wow, almost a full glass, Groovers. I can just... Sonny just gave me a look like, uh-oh, mama's on the drink. I don't drink much. Nice head on my beer. Cheers, everybody. I usually cook on my barbecue, I do cook on my barbecue all year round, but it's really tricky to film out there in the dark, and we've had some pretty shitty weather, but if it's a nice still night, clear night, I do a lot of stuff on my barbecue all year round. Winter I tend to put like a roast on and I'll put it on during the day. I've got a few fire pot recipes too. Like, I'm going to light the fire pot one night and we're all going to go and sit around the fire pot and make a hot toddy and do some cooking. That'll be fun. Some like gourmet toasted sandwiches or jaffles as they're sometimes called, or might do some damper, which is a bread that you make in a billy. Probably needs a couple more minutes. You do want it to get a little bit crispy and golden brown. I'll just have a look at my crumble. Oh, the crumble's looking pretty nice. I'm just going to give it a turn because, or a little spin, because my oven is hotter at the back than at the front. So to get an even cook, I spin everything around: cakes, cookies, whatever I'm making. Run, Sonny, run. Who forgot to drink their ginger beer? Do damper? Yeah, damper's kind of tricky because when we used to go camping, I remember we used to sort of have it wasn't a fire pot, like the fire was in the ground, and you'd sort of dig a hole to the side of where the fire was, put embers in the hole, and then put a bit of dirt over it, and then put the billy on top and do the damper in that. So it'll be very experimental. I've got to find a rack. I might use one from the barbecue to put it over the top of the fire pot, or one that'll fit sort of in the fire pot a little bit, and I can cook it straight over the flame. I don't know. We'll have to experiment with it. But the other way you can do damper is you actually fashion it onto a stick. Like you get a stick and put the dough around like a kebab, I guess, or a kofta. So like instead of having a skewer with the meat around it, like you use a stick and put the damper on it and then hold it over the flame. So we might do it that way. We'll work it out. All right, this is looking pretty good. I'm just going to give it a little minute more because the fat's all... See, this is interesting because we're going to be making this beautiful roux using the fat in the pot as well. So that bacon flavour is going to go right through. Yum. I like the sound of that. But I'm pretty happy with that bacon now. When it's taken out of the fat, it'll crispen up. So using a slotted spoon, take the bacon out of the pot and transfer it into a bowl that can handle hot stuff. Some hot stuff, baby, this evening. This bowl can handle hot stuff. But yeah, judging from this recipe, you leave the bacon fat in and we're going to make the roux using that. I'm just going to get some milk too. I've got to measure some milk out for the roux. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of bacon floating around. Do the best you can. But yeah, a couple of pieces of bacon aren't going to hurt. Milk. I'm pretty sure we need 1.5 cups. Let me just check that. Yeah, so it's 1.5 cups of milk, but this recipe is actually in the description. Okay, 1.5 cups of milk. We're good to go. Now we're going to chuck the butter into the pan. Where's Plumy Plumy? It's butter time. And we want that to melt. So it's melting together with the bacon fat. Yum. Oh, guys, you've got no idea how good my kitchen smells right now. You're here, Plumy Plumy. This is food porn right here. Melting butter, combining with bacon fat to make a luscious, foamy thing. So when the butter is melted, we are going to add the flour, that little 1/4 cup of flour, plain flour. And we're also going to add a teaspoon of mustard powder. I don't know if you saw that or not. The camera, I forgot one end of the phone. I like mustard, so I did a bit of a heaped teaspoon. And then we want to mix this all together. So what we're doing is we're creating what is known in the industry as a roux. It's super foamy, guys, but keep stirring, mix it all together. And this is going to form the basis of our sauce. Now, I normally would use way more flour than this, so I'm just going to check if they want a proper roux. Oh, no, they want it to bubble and be grainy. That's exactly what we've got. So, without further ado, I'm going to gradually add the milk. Just get a little bit in there now. And you want to give that a bit of a whisk. See how it's thickening, guys? I hope you can. I'll put the fan on to get rid of some of the steam. But give it a good whisk. Add some more milk. Whisk it away again. Shit, now they've left an ingredient out of the recipe, of the ingredients. Let me just deal with the roux. Just going to put my... Oh, no, I haven't. It's the beer. Oh, I saw the recipe said beef stock, and I'm like, I haven't made any beef stock. See how that's thickening now and it's all coming together and looking very pretty? Put in the last of the milk. And it's thickening beautifully. And we're on a medium heat at the moment, so it's come together absolutely beautifully. Are you impressed, guys? It's one of the few things I make pretty much flawlessly every time is a roux or a white sauce. The roux is the butter and the flour and the milk. And you just want to make sure that it's hot enough that it's boiling again. See how it's got some bubbles happening? That is absolutely perfecto. And we're just now going to add the beer. And it's 1/4 cup of my dad's favourite beer, Cascade Blue. In she goes. Mix that through. Hey Google, stop. Hey Google, set an alarm for 7 minutes.
6:28 p.m. Set.
Thank you. And once again, you want it to get back to that boiling temperature so that it thickens up really beautifully. So we're starting to get some bubbles happening. Give it another... You don't have to whisk it constantly, by the way. You can have a break between whisks. You're very impressed with my roux. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. So once you've added the beer, or you could use beef stock if you don't want to put beer in your mac cheese, if you're feeding small children. There's no alcohol, by the way. It's completely burnt off from the heat, but the flavour might be a bit much for small children, or you might introduce them to a flavour that they enjoy far too much at an early age. So if you're parents of young people, you make the call. But yeah, if you don't feel comfortable putting beer in food for them, then use a beef stock. And it would still be 1/4 cup of beef stock. All right, Ski, I'm going to move the camera back. You take that off the heat. I'm actually just going to turn the element off and give it another minute. Oh, look, it's 2 kittens on the screen. I'm moving over to this side now so that we can get on with some assembling. Okay, that fan can come off. Now, I've got to try and turn my camera back on. Oh, hang on. We're swapping. Wait a minute. Oh, I can really smell the beer, guys. I can really smell the beer. I've just got to adjust this other one. Hang on. I don't want my phone to land in the roux. That would be really unfortunate. Okay. Just check the crumble, and it's I just wanted a little bit more golden on top. It's doing a great job. It's starting to look fantastic, but I'm just going to give it a few more minutes. It is a bit like a fondue. Let's do a fondue, guys. I had my uncle and auntie here for drinks a couple of Sundays ago, and I did a baked brie, and it reminded me of a fondue because it got so hot and gooey, and we had these really amazing shards of crackers and, just dipping them into it. It was incredible. Okay, almost there. I've just got to give it an erection. That's as erect as it's going to get. I'll just move it back a bit. There we go. Cheese white wine. All right, so now we've got a beautiful roux with the beer, so it's gone that sort of bacony, beery colour. And first thing we're going to do is season it with some salt and pepper. Don't skimp on seasoning, guys. Food is amazing when it's seasoned. Nothing worse than eating something that hasn't been properly seasoned. Seriously. I mean, you don't put like 3/4 of a cup of salt in there, but season it, Give it some balls. So that is nicely seasoned. Next, take the whisk out. And we'll go back to my wooden spoon. Next, you want to put in about a cup of the cheese. So the recipe called for a cup and a half. So you're going to obviously be sprinkling some cheese on top. So put about a cup's worth of cheese into the mix, saving some to go on top. And you want to mix that through. Smells really, really, really good. Next up, we're going to put the bacon back in. There's our gorgeous bacon. See how it's gone all crunchy and yum? Whack that in. Give that a bit of a mix through. Next, we're going to add some chives, guys. I love chives. I grow them. I've got some growing on the deck, but not enough to use. You want to use about 1/4 of a cup of chives. I'm just randomly pulling out a handful. I can never have too many chives. I'm just going to give my kitchen knives a bit of a clean because the last time I used them was with the bacon. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat at the moment, guys. I want to assemble this. Tori does a great job of baking and cooking. I don't normally. This is kind of new. I don't normally bake and cook together. This is just me thinking it's a bit of fun for the channel. But, yeah, nothing like putting yourself under a bit of pressure. So, beautiful chives. Again, kitchen scissors. They make your life so much easier. All right. I'm not too precious about them all being the same size. So, there's the chives, and then we're going to add the macaroni that we cooked earlier before I even kicked off. Thank you, Plemy. That means a lot. I love fresh chives too, Sandra. They're so yummy. Hey, Google, stop. I just remembered a certain little guy wants something sent for your garden thingy. Oh, okay, Tammy. It is a great channel with the chat and everything. Plemy, I love it. And Mel's channel too. Like, I think we're very lucky. You know, it's a really nice, they're nice communities, and everyone checks in on each other, and everyone's, you know, we all sort of look out for each other, and everyone kind of knows if somebody's got something bad going on in their world. You know, everyone sort of wants to make sure they're doing okay. When they pop into chat, everyone gets a bit excited. Sorry about this, guys. You're going to get to see all my chins. I'm trying to just turn that up a tiny bit. So, all right. It even looks pretty. You're all welcome. And thank you for your 2 seconds. It means a lot. So mix up the macaroni, the cheese, that beautiful roux that has all the white sauce, that has the beer in it. Make sure you break up the mac a bit too, like it does. Once you've cooked it, it does cool down a bit. It does clump together a little bit. That's what wooden spoons are really good for that, but don't be too rough so that you break it. But this is why you want your macaroni to be, oh, this is so perfect. Like, look at the consistency of it. It's not super runny. It's like the bomb. And that's all looking good. We're just going to season it one more time, believe it or not. More pepper. Smells so good. And a little bit more salt. Now, I used to have a perfect dish for mac cheese that broke. And I bought a new dish today that would have been great, except that you can't put it in an oven over 180, and this oven is at 200. So I'm going to be using one of my enamels, which I love. I'm just going to check on the rhubarb crumble. It's perfect. Oh, guys. Oh, no, 5 more minutes. Hey, Google, set a timer for 5 minutes. Please.
5 minutes, and that's starting now.
This is so good. I want to try it. I want to make sure it's seasoned properly. Oh, my God. Oh. The beer. It's given it this really smoky, like it's just given it an extra bit of body. It's not like a basic mac cheese at all. And then the little bit of bacon through the sauce, and then the chives, those pop of chives. Yum. It's really good, guys. It's really good. So I'm going to do the mac cheese in this dish. I love all my enamels. We were chatting about enamels the other day. It's kind of about the same size as my Le Creuset that I used to do mac cheese in. Not all, you know, mac cheese type things. Any sort of pasta bakes and stuff. But this tin's great, and you don't need to grease it. Just chuck it straight in. Smoosh it all about so that it's all evenly spread across the base of the pan. It's making that really gluggy, squelchy sort of noise that sounds a bit wooed, that noise. Apologies. There's a bit of porny sound effecty action happening in my kitchen right now. I do apologise. Get every last crumb, guys. Get every last crumb. Then we just get our remaining half a cup of cheese. Sprinkle it on the top. Now this dish is probably a bit wider. I'd probably do it a bit smaller like that, so it's a little bit higher in the dish, but this will be perfectly fine. It does serve 6, this recipe, so just pop the last of the cheese on it. And that's done, basically. It's now going to go... trying to find the spots. Hello, sunny girl. It's a much richer mac cheese. Like it's a grown-ups mac and cheese. Hey, Will the Rocker. Hi to anyone else who's wandered in that I haven't seen as well. I'm kind of doing a lot of stuff. But here's cheers to anyone I've missed. The porny squelching noise. All right, this is going to go in the oven for 15 minutes. So let's go. In fact, I'm going to take the crumble out. Hey, Google, cancel the timer.
All right, consider it cancelled.
Consider it cancelled. Why, thank you. Hey, Google, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
I set timers, guys, because I chat and forget. Oh, chat isn't scrolling. Hang on a sec. Beers cheers to everybody. Oh, you've just woken up sneezing. Poor Will. Here's to your sneezes going away. I don't drink beer. It's the recipe had beer. The mac cheese had beer in it. So I've been getting tipsy in the shitty tipsy kitty kitchen. There is one last thing we are going to do for this mac and cheese. Like I said, it's for grown-ups. So it's going to get a little bit fancy. But first, let me show you the rhubarb crumble. Can you see that, guys? Now, a rhubarb crumble, apple crumble, any of the crumbles are best served hot. What I will do with this dinner is when the mac cheese is cooked and I'm eating that, I'm actually going to put the oven down to 100 and just keep this warm in the oven so that it's nice and hot. I will do a little taste test for you guys, though, before I do that. And after I've done a taste test for the mac cheese, I'm a bit of a Puritan. I like to do the savoury and then the sweet. And I'm going to serve it with a little bit of custard. But it looks absolutely gorgeous. And these little pops of colour where it oozes out a little bit, like it's kind of messy and lush. What do you guys think? It's like the old-fashioned rhubarb crumble our grannies used to make, and it's even in a little granny bowl. And it smells incredible. And it was so easy. So easy. But look at that gorgeous colour. And when I cut it open and you get to see all the red from the rhubarb, I think most of this colour is the freeze-dried black currants that I put in with it. But it's looking pretty sexy. So, yeah, very yummy for our tummy. The macaroni cheese is only going to take 15 minutes, so we'll have that a bit later. Because there's one last thing I'm going to do. I'm not going to bother fucking around with the camera, though, to put it back over on the stove. But I'm heating up a little tiny, this is one of my mum's little Le Creuset that looks like it should be thrown in the tip. No, these pans are amazing. They're seasoned. It looks like it's got burn on it, but honestly, these are scrubbed within an inch of their lives every time I clean them. It's just an incredibly loved pan, and as a result, it just cooks things beautifully. But we're just going to heat this up. Now, with Le Creuset or any cast iron cookware, don't put it on full heat ever. Like when you set a plate to, like a hot plate to medium, that's high for a Le Creuset, because being cast iron, it takes them a bit longer to heat up, but they hold the heat. So don't ever, I mean, this probably happened back in 1973 because my mum put it on the element on high. But they're absolutely gorgeous. Don't think I'm cooking on grubby stuff. It's clean as a whistle. But you want to put that little frying pan onto a medium heat. So I probably would do it at like 3/4 of the way to half, like to medium. I wouldn't do it at a quarter. I do it like 20 past. You know what I'm saying? So if you just think medium is high for a Le Creuset, then pull it back a tiny bit. And the reason I'm heating up that little pan is we're going to make a fancy little garnish. And all you need, apart from some tongs, is 20 sage leaves. I love sage so much. Are we really going to be silly and count 20? Of course we are. So try and find the nice ones, the big sort of plumper ones first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't care if there's 23. Sage is superb. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Whoops. 13. 16, 17, 18. There you go, 21. Now, if you guys watch my cooking channel, you'll know that you can freeze herbs, and I'm not going to be cooking with sage for the next couple of days. So this little punnet is going straight into the freezer. Chives you can't freeze, but I will be putting the rest of those chives on top of the mac cheese. So that is going to go straight to the freezer. Now, I do already have some sage in my freezer, but they won't defrost to what we're going to do. We're going to be pan frying them and making them nice and crunchy. They're not going to frozen ones are not going to do that. So that's why I bought fresh. And you just need a little bit of olive oil, 2 tablespoons. That's actually quite a lot of olive oil, but I guess it's so they sort of deep fry. That little bottle has pretty much 2 tablespoons in there. So I might crank it up a little bit more actually. And we're basically, you won't be seeing this because I'm not dragging the thing back over for it, but I'm just going to, when the oil gets nice and hot, I'm just going to chuck those sage leaves into the oil. And it says to cook them for a minute or 2 till they're crisp. And you just give them a turn with your little baby tongs. I'm just going to take a little broken piece over and see if it's hot enough yet. Not yet. You want it to be sizzly, bubbly, deep fry kind of action. So while that's happening, I'm just grabbing a plate. I'm going to put a paper towel on it. That will soak up the oil. A bit like how you'd normally cook bacon. Okay, we've got some sizzle action happening on that leaf now, so I'm just going to go over and drop the rest in. Everyone behave in chat. Hi to everyone who's arrived. Sorry if I haven't said hi to everyone. Also, safe travels to anyone who's left, and cheers to the Queen on her birthday. Even though her birthday's in April, thank you, Queen, for giving us a public holiday in June. We celebrate the Queen's birthday in June because we have so many holidays in April with Easter and Anzac Day that if we celebrated on her actual birthday, we would have all long weekends in April. So, but Nada was saying earlier that Canada doesn't have a Queen's birthday holiday. Ripped off. So there's a bit of sizzling action happening over here, guys. Said 1 to 2 minutes to make them crispy. It's really annoying, the chat. A bad influence. Yeah, these plates are gorgeous. I've got lots of beautiful heart things. You're a bad influence on Tanny? I think it goes the other way. Just saying. So you don't want to pan fry these so that they burn and go black, but you want to try and crispy them up a little bit. They're not looking terribly crispy yet, so I might be here for a minute or two. Yeah, I felt bad for the Queen too. I feel even worse for her that Harry and Meghan had the gall to call their child Lilibet after her. Like, what were they thinking after what they've done to that family? Oh, they're such manipulative. I know how we'll fix everything that we've done. I know how we can sort out the mess we made with the Oprah interview. Let's name our child after her and use her family nickname. Fuck off. It makes me angry. Okay, the sage is coming out. It has crispified, I believe. Like bacon, it will go more crispy on the paper towel, but yeah, it's pretty crispy. Woo! Let me just get these little delicate leaves out of... Well, how posh is this for on top of mac and cheese, guys? Crispy fried sage. And this is out of the Coles free magazine that sort of has beautiful family recipes. It's to encourage families to stop taking their kids through drive-thrus and cook things at home. They're really simple. Like if I wasn't doing the live and we were, it was just me cooking this stuff. Oh, they're super crispy, guys. Oh, my God. I'll let them cool down a bit, but they are like mega crispy. Yeah, wouldn't they have asked permission? It was horrible. It was horrible. You love to toast almonds? Yeah, I love toasting nuts too, but toasting herbs is kind of fun. So this is a little, hang on, where's the camera that's... Look at me with my split screen. How bloody technologically advanced am I? I just had to invite myself up. But can you see that little crunchy leaf? Did you hear? Oh, the mic's down there. Crispy as. So that's a bit posh. Right. We've still got a few more minutes, so let's choose what we're cooking next week. Somebody just pick a number and drop it into chat. We're going to be either doing, I'm going to give you 3 choices. There'll be a recipe from this, which is the one we've just cooked out of, the autumn one, or we're going to cook out of the new winter Coles magazine. They do pretty, they're hit and miss. Some of this stuff isn't always great. Sometimes it is. The winter one. And then I've thrown in another cookbook I love, which is Delicious, which is another food magazine in Australia. And this is by the chef Valley Little, who's no longer with us, but some of her food is insane. So I'm just going to see 2. Oh, Grandma Ducky. 2 might be a bit early in a magazine. I reckon there'll be a few ads and stuff. Let me see. Yeah, the recipes don't start till page 6, but you can choose another number. Maybe you go a bit further into the book. They've probably got 210-ish pages. Meghan is a narcissist and was a bad actress. She controls Harry. Yeah, no, we say that here all the time. I kind of keep wanting to go live again about it, but then I just think I'm just going to be angry. I don't want my content to all be me just going, man, or let's go cook. I need some middle ground. I'm furious, but there's plenty of channels that are covering that saga and putting a lot more time and effort into it than I can. So number 4 is your lucky number. Again, way too early. These are cookbooks, guys. There's like indexes and contents and stuff. Oh, no, we're going to do the 3 books. I'm doing all 3, and then you guys choose out of the 3. Number 10. Okay, so we are still going right to the front. Okay, option number 1 is Okay. It's this. That's the picture for it. So they're page number 10. It's a lamb, harissa, and mixed mushroom meatloaf, which is a lovely wintry dish. So that's choice number 1, everyone, is a meatloaf. It looks pretty awesome. It's very pretty. And I do love harissa. So that's kind of like a gourmet, mushroomy, lamby, meatloafy thing. So that's option number 1. Save the lambs. Now Grandma Ducky's come back with 2. What are you doing? You're messing with my brain. God, you're hilarious. Okay. The second one is, and I'll do this because I can always make sandwiches and stuff. This time it's a chook and it's a roast chicken, but we're actually going to learn how to spatchcock it, which is when I'm trying to get it so the light's not on it. When you spatchcook a chicken, you cut it and flatten it out and cook it, and they take a lot less time to cook. So it's a spatchcock chicken with a romesco sauce. Alrighty. Hey, Google, stop. That needs a bit more time anyway. I want to get it nice and brown on top. In fact, what I'm going to do is put on my grill, and if it fits, I don't know if this pan fits or not, but if it does, you beauty. And it's conveniently got a handle on the edge, like on the side, which makes them really easy to pull out. So I'm just going to put that on quickly hey, Google, can you set a timer for 3 minutes, please?
3 minutes, starting now.
I'll whack that up to high. And the last choice is Japanese-looking dish. So it's flash fried rice with fried egg and togarashi. I don't even know what that is. Togarashi. Looks like it's some kind of mix. A tablespoon of shichimi togarashi. That's not very accessible, I don't think. So they're your choices anyway. I might have to go on a mission to find whatever that togarashi is. So there's a rice and egg dish is number 3. Number 2 is the spatchcock chicken. I have done a roast chicken on my channel, but I'm more than happy I do a lot of chicken, and chicken's great, to make sandwiches and stuff. And it'll also be fun to show you guys how to spatchcock a chicken. So that'll be number 2. And if you want the meatloaf, lamb is expensive, but this particular one, it'll be ground lamb, so it's not too bad. Like, it's not crazy. If it was a roast leg of lamb, I would have vetoed it. So place your votes, guys. It's a 1 for the meatloaf, which is lamb, harissa, and mixed mushroom meatloaf. 2 for the spatchcock chicken with the romesco sauce, and 3 for the flash fried rice with fried egg and togarashi, which I might struggle a bit, guys, getting that togarashi. Oh, fuck. Yeah, but the problem is I've got a really crazy week, like whether I can actually get it. No, you can still vote, Tanny. It'll help me with working it out. It looks like the Japanese, you bastards. Hang on, you can't vote more than once. Shit. Now I've got to sit here and count this. Tanny said a 2. Ruth is a 3. Grandma Ducky is 3 and a 2. Sandra's 2. Ruth, you're voting like, oh my God. Guys, I'm going to actually get rid of the Japanese because you're rigging it. I'm going to go with the chicken unless you behave yourselves. Or I'll throw a number 4 in the mix. But I can't count and cook and stuff. So fuck yous all. Oh my God. I'm tempted to do the mushroom meatloaf, the lamb and mushroom meatloaf now. Fuck all of y'all. In fact, I'll probably do the meatloaf mushroom as a video. Hey, Google, stop. The problem is this week, me accessing the Japanese grocer is pretty slim because I've got family and friends staying. We've got a festival on. I'm working. Like, I don't mind shelving it to do the following week, but this week it's going to be very tricky. I'm just going to give that a few more minutes. I cannot actually picture a day that I would be out, and I'm not going to drive to Hobart specifically to get a Japanese powder on my day off. So, please, no lamb. You're being a twit. You're being an angel, Tammy. Save the baby lambs. Well, it's going to have to be the chicken purely because, like, oh, wait a minute, I can throw another book in the mix. This is the last choice, though. I would really love to make this. I really would. But the practicalities of me being able to get anywhere near the Japanese grocer this week are so fucking slim. And I'm not driving my normal car. Like, there's a lot of shit going on. I've got house guests. So I'm going to save that one. I will do it the following week, I promise. It just won't be happening this week or next weekend. Sorry, guys, but I'll pop it over here so I can make a list of ingredients. I will do that for sure. The mac cheese is nearly ready, so I don't want to a little bit longer, a couple more minutes. So I'm going to throw another book into the mix, which is another Valley Little. Always an angel. You are, Tanny. I don't know why you chose right at the front. It's all breakfasts and it's granola. So I'll probably do a video about that too. I'll show you how to make granola because I love granola and I'm getting low on my Persian breakfast sprinkle. But you chose the number, not me. Anyone who knows cookbooks knows the good shit's in the middle, not at the start. Ruth, I've put the books over on the other table. I'm so buggered, dude. Fuck. It's flash fried rice with fried egg and togarashi. And it only needs 1 flippin' tablespoon. I can have a look at Coles down here, but in the international food aisle, but I'm not confident, but you never know. Anywho, nobody seems terribly excited about the chicken. Does someone just want to throw a number out, like a middle of the cookbook out? We'll see what comes up. There'll be 2 choices and we'll be done. Pig's feet pasta. I don't dig the pig. I don't put pork on my fork. Okay. And my dinner's almost ready. I'm just going to let the mac cheese cool down a tiny bit because it's pretty hot. Hey, Val. Shitty Kitty Kitchen. Well, I don't know. I think there's people chatting in both. I wouldn't have a clue. But from the 1st of July, all cooking is going to be on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. So if you haven't already, it's worth jumping over there. The link is at the top of the Traces of Nuts chat and subscribing because, from the 1st of July, I'm just going to do everything over on this channel, the Shitty Kitty Kitchen one. We'll love the chicken. Well, we're doing the chicken then. Although Grandma Ducky did say 28. I'm just going to say out of curiosity. I don't mind doing the chicken. It's probably worth showing you guys how to spatchcock a chook, and also doing a chicken on, it'll be Monday because my cousin's staying with me on Sunday night, but doing a chicken at the start of the week means I've got chicken to do chicken sandwiches and stuff through the week, so it suits me. Grandma Ducky, file a little note that if you're with me next Monday, you get to choose the number. I'll save those numbers. Well, was it 38? Oh, 28. It's an ad. It's an ad, and it's a dude holding a cabbage. So that's what we'll be cooking for Grandma Ducky in a couple of weeks' time. We're doing the chook, guys. We're going to learn how to spatchcock a chook. We're going to make a romesco sauce. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. Trust me. And there'll always be a dessert too. So don't forget that, guys. And I will promise you I will do, if I can get that, I'm just trying to work out when I can even go to Coles. But if I can stop at the supermarket, I'll have a look in the Japanese aisle, but I've got a feeling I'm going to have to go to the Japanese grocery in town, and they're quite a long way on foot from where I work. So, yeah, I get a half-hour lunch break. So practically it's not great. It's kind of possibly like, I don't think I've got anything in my – I'll have a look and see if I can maybe replicate it. But the problem with Japanese, not the problem, it's the good thing about Japanese, their spices and everything are so unique that's what makes it amazing food. I don't think I'll be able to find a substitute. But if I can, I'll flip it. I'll do the rice eggy thing next week, and I'll do the chicken the week after. We'll see. I just want everyone to come here and have a good time. You should show us how to heat up your dude with the cabbage. Well, the way he was just holding it, like he could have just been holding two, right? Okay, let's eat. It's 7 o'clock. MasterChef starts in half an hour, and I want to do a little taste test of the two things we've done tonight for you groovers. So here's the mac cheese. And I'm just going to garnish it with that crispy fried sage that we made earlier. It's actually so crispy that it's breaking. It's very delicate, guys. I think if I used the tongs, it'd be worse than my fingers, to be honest. Look how pretty this is, guys. It's like mac cheese for grown-ups. Now, this is where the beer went. Most of it went in me, but this is where the beer went. That's so pretty. Okay, so there's our mac cheese, and I will make a little. Now I'm actually, when I log off, boo boo, I'm gonna cook up some green beans. I love green beans. I'm gonna have some with it as well. I like having a serve or two of veggies on the side, so I will be doing some beans. Where's the Grandma Ducky honorary fork? I don't know why chat stopped scrolling. Thanks, Wilbur. Sweet dreams, Will. We can eat now. We got a bit sidetracked. I'm going to see if I can get this Japanese powder. And if so, next week we're going to be doing a flash fried rice with a fried egg, Japanesey thing. Like, I love all that sort of stuff. I love rice bowls. I'll never be upset if we open a page and it's a rice bowl. I'll be like, yeah, baby. If I don't, because this week is just so, like, it is the busiest week of the year for me socially, even busier than any week in summer, even busier than Christmas. It's dark mofo. People are descending from all over the place, and on top of that, in the middle of it all, I've got to work too. So, yeah, it's just a bit of a crazy week. And if I've got people staying at home, I like to get straight home to them. I don't like even stopping on the way to get groceries and stuff. I like to be home straight away to hang out with people that have, flown all the way here. So we'll see how we go. But it'll either be a Japanese rice dish or it's going to be a spatchcock chicken. This is pretty hot, but I'm going to blow on it like our mummies used to. Ducky's, oh yeah, the Ducky fork. Ducky has been fucking hilarious as always. Everyone has. Everyone has been super funny. Unless something's happened in chat that I've missed. This is now my favourite mac and cheese. The beer, it just adds a bitter, smoky, robust flavour. It's really good. I never would have thunk it. It's totally changed. I mean, the beef stock would have a similar effect, and I've never put beef stock in a mac cheese either. It's just made it really robust, but it's that beautiful, hot, hearty, wintry. Oh, sorry, wrong camera. It's that gorgeous, hearty, wintry. The bacon, the beer, the bacon flavours right through it because I made the white sauce using the bacon fat and some butter. It's really, like, it's a gorgeous mac and cheese. Seriously, it's beautiful. And those little crispy bits of sage. They almost melt in your mouth, but they add that really beautiful, wintry, warm sage flavour. Guys, I'm totally digging it. I've been giving really stupid scores. I'm actually going to start to be serious. But as far as this goes, this is the best mac and cheese I've ever made, for sure. Oh, I'm just going to pop the lid on too. This is actually a chicken roasting dish that I use, but it's so handy because it's got the lid and you can just chuck it in the fridge. You don't need to put it into a different container and keep it. But I'm just going to put it over there so it stays warm. In fact, I'm going to pop it back in the oven with the lid on. Because I want to taste the rhubarb crumble. But this is really, really yummy, guys. You probably don't need to see this camera anymore. Yeah, it's absolutely divine. Oh, hang on. We've got to do the crumble. Watching me eat. Watch me eat, fuckers. It's ASMR. Nom, 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 nom. This is so good. And the cheesy bits have got like a little bit of golden brownie. Oh my God, it's so good. Make it, guys. You will not regret it. Okay. But yeah, as far as mac cheese goes, that is the best one I've ever made. I'm giving that 10 out of 10. I will never make a different mac cheese. That is the perfect mac and cheese. What am I doing? Rhubarb crumble. Now this is for Ruth. The bowl is still pretty hot, so I'm being careful and using mitts. But Ruth mentioned earlier, and I'm in the same gang, to serve it with custard. And I could have made custard, but it's fucking hard. It's labour intensive. I'll eat this without needing to make a batch. But I found a thing of double thick custard, and this brand, Paul's, they make they sell like yogurt, Greek yogurt and dips and things. So it should be really good. I looked for a gourmet one, but I was at a family supermarket, so they didn't have like super fancy, but I thought double thick sounded pretty nice. We did embellish the rhubarb crumble recipe out of Marian Keyes' book a little bit by adding, I added some freeze-dried blackberries because I just happen to have some in my house, as you do. Oh, she's got a big chunky crumble. I think I went a bit over the top with the crumble, to be honest. The ratio should be like at least 50-50, but I'll try and get some fruity goodness out of the bottom. There we go. Oh, this smells incredible. There's steam pouring out of it. I'll just put another bit of... I'm styling the food, guys. Whoops. Styling the food and trashing my bench. Oh, shit. Hang on. I forgot to plug my phone back in. Oh, it doesn't matter if that dies anyway. That just means you won't see the last 3 minutes of my head. I don't think that's a bad thing. All right. It smells so good. It's like I'm gonna eat something. I am. But yeah, look at that, guys. Can you see the colour in it? And it's not, there is liquid in there, but it's not like crazy runny. Oh my God, it's delicious. A little bit of custard on top. No, she's going to eat something else in front of us. Oh, yes, she is. And lashings of, oh, this custard is super thick. Yum. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's probably a bit more than a taster bowl. It's a great custard, and I didn't have to make it. I can make it. It's painful, though, especially when I had all that other shit going on over there. It's not bad. My grandmother's custard is better than that custard, but she's no longer with me, or with us. All right, so here, Groovers. Rhubarb crumble, rhubarb and blackcurrant crumble with a bit of splodge on the side. Sorry about that. And a double custard. 2 out of 10 for the fucking crumble. That's harsh. That's really harsh. Gordon, thought you loved me. It's reminding me of my mum and my grandma's. Yeah, like, I mean, not only did the bowl take me back to grandma land, but it's very sweet, but not unbearably sweet. The rhubarb, when my mum made it, the rhubarb was quite watery. This is quite jammy in a good way. Like it's a thicker, denser. And like the rhubarb's still holding its shape. Like you can still see that it's fruit. It's not just this sort of red blob. The crumble's really crunchy. It's oaty. It's not too sweet. Like it's a good little match. I'd probably even, to be honest with you, I'd be happy to serve this with like a Greek yogurt or a plain yogurt, like an unsweetened yogurt, just to do a bit of an acidic offset. This custard isn't too sweet, luckily, but you probably could fuck this up unless you're a hardcore sweet tooth. I probably wouldn't have a problem even doing a little blend of cream and Greek yogurt together, just to put a bit of acidity in there too, but it's really, really yummy. It's fucking amazing. Marian Keyes, she writes great books, but she's nailed it with the rhubarb crumble. It's really, I mean, look at the colour, guys. It's like a red velvet pudding. I love Gordon Ramsay, even the one in chat. I love all the Gordons. Yeah, I wish you could see the colour. Like, it's not showing it. It is like a red velvet pudding. It's incredible. That's going straight into my book as a rhubarb crumble. I won't even bother trying a different one. If I ever have a hankering, if one of my workmates brings more rhubarb into work. I was going to make, I found a recipe somewhere in the house for rhubarb and custard muffins. So if I do get more rhubarb, I'll make those. But fuck, that will be a show in its own right. There's no way I can cook two things at once when I'm making them, because I will make the custard and everything else. But yeah, 10 out of 10. It's black book. It's going straight into my best of. I won't even bother trying a different recipe. That's really yummy. The other thing actually that I reckon would be worth doing for people with my kind of taste buds is cut up a Granny Smith apple, or like one of the more tart apples. I thought the blackberries are doing it a little bit, but I reckon an apple in with that rhubarb, it just give it a little bit of that tanginess, if you know what I'm talking about. Your mum used to make apple and rhubarb. So yeah, her recipe was pure rhubarb. I did add the freeze-dried blackberries that Did you hear that? Sunny's got the zoomies. She just skidded along the floor. She does like the Tom Cruise risky business sideways slide. She's got the zoomies. So I basically, now what I do is eat dinner properly and watch MasterChef while I'm cleaning up the kitchen and chase her as she comes flying past. So yeah, I'd probably put this in my black book, but I'd add an apple. So I think it was 900 grams of rhubarb. I'd probably do like the 600, which is what I had. Or was it 700? Whatever it was, 600. And maybe chop up a couple of apples just to offset it a bit. But it's not sickly or anything like that. It's really good. It's just almost too sweet for me. But then that piece was beautifully, that was that rhubarb that's really bitter and pungent. And so, chuck an apple in if you want to, make it the way it is. It's great either way, and it's a beautiful, hearty thing to be eating on a cold, wintry Tasmanian night. Someone else in chat said they like to do it with ice cream. I'm happy with the yogurt, the custard. Oh my God, what's has Ruth, she's meant to be at a doctor's appointment. Poor Ruth, I'm so tired. I've had a busy day and going live is tiring. Melma will vouch, and standing on your feet for a couple of hours. Setting up before I go live takes about an hour as well. And I'd just taken all my books and everything over to the table, and Ruth was like, what was the Japanese dish called? I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm so tired. I did the melodramatic walk across the room to see what the recipe was called. I hope you're okay, Ruth. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the mac and cheese is calling me out. I want to end this while it's still hot. Not that it'd be a problem. Well, it's actually staying warm in the oven, so what am I talking about? But when I take the mac and cheese out, I'll pop the rhubarb in there too. That rhubarb crumble, my God, it just reminds me of so much about my childhood. And I hate to say it, Mum, but my mum was called Marian as well. But Marian Keyes' version is a little bit more refined than my mum's. I think Mum's, they weren't made with love towards the end of us being kids, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it got to a point with food, she's just like, oh, fuck, I've got rhubarb in the garden. There's your crumble. Shut up. Fuck off. No, they were still beautiful. Mum's crumble was nicer. Marian's rhubarb bit, I think it might be the ginger, to be honest. I think it's the ginger that makes the bottom bit taste different. It's really good. Yeah, being in character, exactly. But then I've been looking at all the shit that's happened on YouTube in the last few days, and I'm wondering if a lot of those people, their true colours are finally shining through, and they've been playing characters the whole way as well. Not like yours, where you're clearly playing a character, but you know what I mean? Some of them and what they're going through and the falls from grace that have happened makes you wonder if you're seeing the real person now, or, you know, did they start off the way they were and they've become fucked in the head because of YouTube? I don't know. Your nan was a master chef, but at the end, no one wanted to eat her stuff. I know you've lost your mojo, Mel, but hopefully you had fun hanging out in here and you've got new knickers. So here's cheers to that. Thanks to everyone for hanging out with me. I wonder if any feedback about this split screen, if you think it's good and worth continuing, I'll do it again. It was kind of, now that I know what to do with the audio, thank you for everyone who gave me feedback, pun intended, at the start, how to sort the audio out. Well, not to sort it out, but when it was working and when it wasn't. Really appreciate that. Another thing we learned today is page 2 is a pointless page in a cookbook because it's usually we're not even at the contents, let alone the recipes, bless you will. And next week it'll either be Japanese rice or a roast chicken, spatchcocked with a romesco sauce. Until next time, though, take care, everybody, and stay groovy. Thanks for hanging out with me, and see you all again very, very soon. Have a great week, everyone, and happy birthday to the Queen. Bye, everyone. I'm still here. Still here.